Picture impossible with the AI-powered Legion Pro 7i, Lenovo Legion.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Lenovo and Intel presents India's Top Gamer featuring Mythpat. I'm your host Blackjack. Joining me once again is my boy Edge, as we are back once again for some more Valorant indeed. Edge, how are you feeling on this fine evening?
I'm feeling good. It's been a week, almost, you could say. When we had the 5v5 Grand Champions, that was Chilcott coming out on top. That was an entire, roller coaster of emotions, that tournament. Now, this one's almost similar to that one, right? Because this one's still Valorant. It's just that it's a swift play. So these matches are going to go swiftly, very swiftly as a matter of fact. And you need to come up with, different game plans, different strategies in the blink of the eye. I mean, all I'm saying is don't blink or you'll miss all the action.
Indeed, it's called Swiftplay for a reason, folks. We're going to be here for a good while tonight, as tonight's matches are also very, very, very interesting indeed. I know I like to say interesting a lot, and that has been something that, people have pointed out before, but you can't blame me when it comes to this particular game or esports in general, because that one word, interesting, is the one that always springs to mind. Definitely don't take a shot when I say interesting, because you might not have too much of a good time. Take a drink of water, though. Stay hydrated. It's important. It is really, really hot these days. But with all that said, of course, we are not going to be talking about a tournament without talking about its prize pool. Now, are we? Because as it stands, this particular Swiftplay tournament is another one where the prize pool is actually really, really good. Let's put it up on the screen here. It is 1 lakh INR for first place, 60,000 INR for second, and 40,000 for the third, with a 2 lakh total prize pool. Not bad. It's not as high as, of course, the previous tournament we had last week, but still, 2 lakhs is no laughing matter.
It is definitely not. And I mean, combine that with Swiftplay, as I said, these matches, they don't take really that long. You don't really have to invest that amount of time going into these matches and still come out with a lot of money. And of course, once again, not just about the money, it's also about the bragging rights that that comes along with it. I mean, yes, you might not have made it in the usual first to 13 format, but in Swiftplay, maybe this is those revenge, that redemption, maybe in a different, how they say, in a different universe, maybe we could win. Well, this is that different universe. This is that Swiftplay, and right now we started off with 128 teams. We're down to last 3. That is Last Hope, Deadeye Esports, and Robot Aim. Once again, we're starting off today's matches. That's the upper bracket final. It is Last Hope taking on Deadeye Esports, and the loser will immediately face Robot Aim in the lower bracket final. So, who is at disadvantage here? Let me tell you, it is going to be the loser of the upper bracket final, because both the other teams, they will have enough rest moving on.
That upper bracket final, here we have it, folks. Last Hope and Deadeye Esports. They are looking for that top spot, of course, but only one can win, and one is going to get knocked down to that lower bracket. Who's it going to be? We are going to find out very, very soon indeed. This match is one to watch out for, of course, as Deadeye Esports and Last Hope. They are not going to be, they're not going to be slacking. They are definitely going to be giving it their all. And like you said, Edge, this may not be the traditional, tournament style as we've seen before, but that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it is still a tournament. It is still a game worth investing your all into. And that is what we all expect from these two teams right here, right now. Tonight, it is going to be another all-out brawl. I do hope so, at least, because, hey, at the end of the day, it might be called Valorant Swiftplay, but if it ends in a 2-0, well, I think all of us will be at least a little bit disappointed if it ends that quickly. If it goes all the way to the third map, however, now that's when you're really talking about a match.
I mean, totally. We want to see those, last round finishes. We want to see those nailed by the endings that we had in the the previous tournament. So this one's kind of similar, as we talked about it, right? In the shorter format of Valorant, but it's still going to be as exciting, still going to be as intense as those previous those matches. So I believe all of these teams, Last Hope, Deadeye Esports, Robot Aim, And there was also one more in the top 4. That was Zenith. Unfortunately, they were eliminated by Robot Aim, in the lower bracket. Well, I mean, once again, huge shout out to all these. Congratulations, I guess, to all the 4 teams, because they did make it out of those 128 teams. Making it this far is an achievement in itself. But at the same time, now moving on. Now, one thing's for sure, all of these 3 teams are going to be going home with a piece of that prize pool. Now, what is that piece? Are you getting the smaller one or the bigger one? Now, we have to wait for that one. But the first match, as we were talking about it, Last Hope and Deadeye in a best of 3 as well, right? Now, let's take a quick look at the players coming in, from Last Hope. I mean, we have the information already, so might as well just give that sneak peek to the audience out there. Last Hope, they have Lavish, they have Abu. Once again, if you're wondering who Abu is, it's Kel'Thuzad, for anyone that doesn't know. There's Zion, there's EMP Kiddo, there's Juggy, and Decroid. Now, big names on that side. So there is going to be a powerhouse of a team. Now, moving on. Deadeye Esports, right? They have Mac the King, Devashish, Masters, Power, Elite, Deathseeker. Now, if I'm not wrong, they are playing Premier. That is, the inbuilt, the Valorant tournament kind of stuff. But at the same time, they are the table toppers in the contender, contender league. So it's going to be a really interesting and intense matchup between these 2 teams.
Oh, it absolutely is. And let's not waste any more time, as I do believe the map selection is going to start up very, very soon, folks. So don't you worry. This is a best of 3 at the end of the day. So that means that there are 3 maps in play, and Corrode has immediately been banned. Looks like we're going to have to go another day without seeing that one. But it's going to be Bind to start things off, as Last Hope has picked up that map. Meanwhile, Ascent comes back into play, as is typically the case. Lotus off the board. Sunset off the board, and I do believe that's going to leave Haven as our decider map. As is usual, ban, pick, ban, and in this case, Bind, Ascent, and Haven are going to be the maps for tonight.
Well, I'm just happy we get to see at least Bind this time in the mixture. Last time it was Sunset, Ascent, Haven, Lotus, Ascent, and Haven, and we've seen that circle a couple of times now. It's going to be fresh. We have Bind, and we're starting off on that map as well. It's been out of the picture for a bit, and then it came back into the map pool. Into the active map pool, and we're starting off on that one. And Deadeye Esports, they picked defense on that one, which means Last Hope they picked Bind. And once again, keep in mind, it is a best of 3. Ascent is the second map up, and the decider is gonna be Haven, another 3-sided map. So if it goes the distance, I think it could go either way. So any team that wants to end it quickly and have a safe bet, they have to make sure it ends on Ascent, because Haven is anyone's game, if you ask me, especially in a Swiftplay.
Absolutely true. If it goes all the way down to that last map, folks, then you can be sure that it's going to be an all-out knuckle dragger of a game. I know that is, maybe not the most appropriate term depending on how the matches go, but that's the way I like to say it, because when it comes to matches that go close, that both teams are fighting tooth and nail, even in cases where it might not be, the score differential might be huge or whatever have you. If each round is going all the way down to the 1v1s, then it's a game where both teams are giving it their all. It's just that one team might end up pulling ahead faster than the other. But, Haven is a long ways away at the end of the day. This is a best of 3 after all, and we have ourselves map number 1, which is Bind to start us off, which is, of course, picked up by Last Hope, and Deadeye Esports, are going to be the ones on the attack. So, all things considered, it's been a minute since we've seen Bind kind of picked up between the last couple of weeks now, and it's a good map. It's a pretty simple map. Been here since the beginning of the game, since classic launch Valorant, as they say. Ascent was one of the maps that we saw since the beta, but Bind is also a really good one, all things considered, especially with the way that second site flows, and with that entire entryway, the boxes around it, and how it's one of those, actually, now that I think about it, it's one of those sites that loves having that, little bit of verticality, with that heaven area overlooking pretty much everything, except if you hide behind the boxes, you can't exactly see them, and that ends up being the game of intel that we all love to see. and well, definitely not love to be in, I'll tell you that much. I remember the times when having to just play retake on that site, it is so difficult, I'll tell you what. But that is, of course, a caster's perspective. What is the player's perspective? We'll find out the moment we get into the actual game, folks. But with all that said, since we're pretty much done with the pre-game banter and the pre-game yap session, as some people in the chat will probably say, Edge, what do you think? What are you expecting out of this match?
Oh, the first things first, I kind of want to see what agents, what agent composition are you going to be coming up with? I know in a conventional game, in a typical game, I understand, you want to drag it out and you want to make sure you have those, economy coming into play, that those utilities and lineups coming into play. But this is Swiftplay. Economy goes out the window. The only thing that you need to focus on is making sure you come out strong right off the bat, like first round, second round, third round, I believe fourth round, and that's about it, the first half, and then you switch, right? So you will get that money regardless, so you don't really have to worry about that so much. So how do you approach this kind of format of the game? Do you go in W, or do you take it really, really passive? Can I see a 4 sentinel agent composition? Do I see a 5 duelist composition? Do I see triple controller, triple initiator kind of something, something weird, something different? Because these teams, I have full faith that I am pretty sure I'm going to be watching something different today for sure, and they have something in store for us as well, something stupendous if you ask me. It's just a gut feeling that I have, especially on Bind, anything goes, because there's no mid. There is no mid on Bind, which means one side will be heavily defended. Now the attackers, they just have to predict, is it A, is it B, and take the chance. Well, also the teleporters, as I said, I think we're going to be seeing some really amazing teleporter usage on this map at least.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of teleporter usage, a lot of movement is going to be in play as well. And you have a couple of those long corridors, right, around that market side entryway where you can really get away with a couple of really interesting operator plays as well. There you have the overview, the top-down, the headshot, not the headshot, but the top-down shot of this particular map of Bind as we go into the agent select. And we already have a couple of picks that might stir some interest right now. From the side of Deadeye Esports, we've got ourselves a Deadlock, a Yoru, a Chamber, a Sky, and of course one of the newer agents introduced to Valorant in the last couple of months, Clove, is going to be brought into the play. Last Hope is taking their time deciding this one, as it looks like Lavish might be looking to go for the Tejo. On the other side, we may or may not have a Cypher in play. We'll just have to wait and see. But that Deadeye Esports comp, Edge, what do you think about it?
Oh, I love it. That double sentinel, combine that with Yoru and Sky. I mean, you get 4 flashes between those two. And you also have Chamber and Deadlock. I think the site lockdown is going to be really good if both of them play together on the same site. And Clove, on the other hand, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. This Clove, they are going to be on point because, that medal and that pick me up, is it? These two abilities are going to be coming in play in clutch, to be honest. And on the other side, we see Raze, Brimstone, Deadlock, Teo, and Cypher. Now, this is another interesting composition because this is also a double sentinel, but both of these sentinels are, those anchoring sentinels and really hardcore because it's Deadlock and Cypher. So you have that, that lurk potential, that flank potential from both of them. On the other hand, now Chamber, that rendezvous, it still has that range. Yes, with the new buff, the trademark has been buffed, but you still have to be in range of the rendezvous. So that is something that will keep Chamber intact.
Absolutely. Chamber, one of those agents that tends to get, tends to get picked up, especially when you're looking for quick kills with a lot of very fast escapes, right? The rendezvous teleport, of course, the gun that Chamber brings for themselves as well is just one of those moments where it's like, that is a great piece of utility to have in your pocket. But with all that said, folks, we're not going to be wasting too much more time. We're going to be going in almost directly to the map itself. It is Bind. It is Deadeye Esports taking on Last Hope on this first map. And we are going to have a very, very fun time indeed, as we are just making sure everything's ready, making sure all the technical things are taken care of while we, get all the players nice and comfortable in the map. And of course, looking at Clove, this is actually going to be, I believe, for me, that is, in terms of my esports commentary history, the first time I'm going to be commentating over a game with both Clove and Tejo in there. So this should be, this is going to be a really good one for me as well, because I get to really dig in to these agents' abilities, especially with the Clove, between the fact that she is a controller, she has herself the smoke orbs, as you would expect, or, as they say, the ruse. And of course, what I'm really looking forward to is the pick-me-up ability that Clove brings in, right? Gets a kill, a little bit of temporary health, a little bit of speed boost. All of that is going to be so important for Elite to use in every way, in every which way possible, right? You want to pick up kills with Clove. That's pretty much what her kit says. Distract, decay, and deny, as is the role of a controller. But the best thing yet is, of course, her not dead yet ability, right? She can pick herself up, but she has to get a kill, or at the very least an assist on a kill. And if she's unable to do that in a short time, she's going to go all the way back down again. So it's very important to be active with the Clove, is what I'm picking up here, based on her kit. And that's certainly something I'm very excited to see. But of course, you've also got the usual suspects, right? You've got the Yoru, you've got the Brimstone, you've got Masters on the Chamber, as we just talked about. And those are just things that you love to see on a map like this. Typical picks mixed in with the new ones, a mixture of classic and, well, of new blood. And that is what esports is all about at the end of the day. You got to mix it up. You got to make sure that you keep your enemies on their toes. And that is exactly what we're going to be seeing tonight.
Hopefully we get to see a nail-biting matchup. I wanted to go as far as possible. Of course, that is a third map. And looking at the composition of these two teams, I think we are in for a treat, because both of them coming out with double Sentinel. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First matchup, the upper bracket final between Deadeye Esports and Last Soap. Well, the pistol round is up and running, and they already have decided to take control of one part of the map. Both the teams, actually, as a matter of fact, they have faked that TP. Yoru gate crashes away. Lavish now has to hold this because they don't really know who TP'd. Is it Yoru? Is it someone else? Are they in the TP? They will just hold it out at the moment. In the meanwhile, you can see that Juggy is just holding out towards Belong. Maybe they want to make that rotation happen later on in the round. But for now, the 3 defenders on A and 4 attackers coming in right at them.
Oh, absolutely. And you have, of course, the Brimstone setting up for the entry right now. Abu has the map ready to go, and the shots are going to be fired here as Xeon wants to get maybe an early pick. Was the first one to make the peak right about now, but has to be careful of that other side. There you go. The first kill goes out. That's going to be Juggy to take down the enemy right there. And that's a good start, as they're going to try and aggress onto B, but unfortunately Juggy's going to get taken down, and in the smoke you have the Raze just sitting there waiting for somebody to peek or get overzealous, as we have more bodies falling. Lavish gets one, EMP gets another one. It's now down to a 2v4 as Deadeye on this defense. They are not looking too good at the moment, as we have the plant coming off from the side of the attack. We've got ourselves a plant, and now it's a retake situation, but it's a 1v4. Power's the last one standing. This Yoru, given the position that they're in, not going to be able to do much, as Lavish will take that kill, and Last Hope will take their first round.
That was a great start. And a great, game plan coming in from both the teams. As a matter of fact, one team deciding to take the showers. The other team, they were like, we'll take Belong. We'll keep you, we'll keep you in action, in play towards that shower with the TP there, and then leaving that race towards showers to take control, maybe find a kill, while Cypher is going to be the one leading the charge on B as he opens the kills, of course. Juggy with the opening kill. But then immediately, as soon as they get the B, they go back. But now here comes, this is what I've been talking about. They don't really have to worry about the economy play coming in. Elite, great presence of mind there. Gets a kill onto Xion. As Upper gets one, immediately traded out. And now the attackers, even though they got the first round, looks like they might be losing the second. Or are they? The special delivery working out perfectly. Lavish gets himself a double. A 3 versus 2. Last hope still having that hope to maybe close out the round with the man advantage.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, beautiful shot right there from EMP. Kaido is going to get now the situation under control. It's now a 3v1, and we have just one defender remaining and not in a great position. EMP might be actually the one to see him. Yes, there we go. Shots are fired. It's a headshot, and we have a second round going to the side of Last Hope. Again, beautifully played, all things considered, even though they lost a couple of bodies very quickly. That Tejo really stabilizing the ship for the team, pulling things back, saying, hey, guys, we're not done yet, but you gotta be careful. You can't lose this many bodies this quickly, because if you do, well, we're not gonna have a good time. And that's one of the moments that you need to watch out for, right? Last Hope, as the name suggests, you know, this isn't quite their last hope, because even though they do lose this, they have themselves a potential lower bracket run to play with. Wait a minute, Juggy starts things off very quickly indeed, finding Masters, and you have the slow going on the Raze. That's going to be the shutdown from the defender right there. But wait a minute, shots are going to be fired, but the body will not be found. Beautifully done right there from the defenders as they take multiple bodies. Wait a minute. Spike carrier's been killed, and it's now all down to Juggy with such little health. The close smoke is returned into its place. And on the other end, there you go. Elite will be the one to take that kill, and that's going to be the first round for Deadeye Esports.
Last round in the half.
I really love that play with the Grabner and then Deadlock just jumping into that teleporter, trying to get that kill. And there was a slight misplay coming in from that Teo, you know, changing that weapons. It, you know, unfortunate timing, of course. The luck factor coming in as well. But Devashish, that was beautiful play. You know, getting a double there immediately stopped the attackers in their tracks. It hampered the entire game plan there, at least for that particular round. And here we go, the last round, I believe, in the first half here coming in. They will have enough money to buy, and they have a lot of ultimates as well. Annihilation, especially on the side of Devashish, now is available. They have to be careful here. Lavish, oh boy, special delivery will not be hitting him. He does dink him. Here comes a showstopper. Will not be hitting onto anyone. Elite with the Odin, actually, he manages to get himself one. But Lavish still alive. Armageddon is online as well. Can he do anything else? Elite will go down if I'm not wrong. There you go, in a 1v3 now, Lavish with Armageddon. What can he do? Oh, that was crisp.
This is how it ends.
That was crisp indeed. Here's the Armageddon going in, but now that he knows where that,
oh no,
oh dear, he teleported out. Beautifully done right at the end there, but wait a minute, Dimensional Rift coming in, and he's not gonna be able to survive the shorty right there. He had the ultimate, he got his way in there, and the missed shots, excuse me, from the Deadlock did not help. However, at the end of the day, there was only so much that they could do, as Deadeye will take their second round, now going into an equalizer early game, as is to be expected. This is, of course, one of those matches where I think, given the first 4 rounds that have happened, we can expect a lot more of these, right? Both teams are playing to win, and not just that, they are playing to their strengths. And based on what we've seen so far, I think everyone is firing on all cylinders. So, we have ourselves a match indeed. As round 5, we can see once again, we're kind of returning to a little bit more of a pistol-based game. Both sides lost a lot of bodies in that last round, so their economies are hurting. And they've decided, you know what, let's just bring things back a little bit and just play it safe. As we have the smokes coming in from the Brimstone, just allowing for Lavish to play this bathroom corner right now. Holding it. But there's 2 people who might potentially aggress onto this if he's not careful. He just backs away a little bit. There goes the raised utility, but now the shots are about to be fired. Lavish is very close to getting aggressed upon, but there we go. Beautiful double peek there, but no, the slowdown comes in. It's still going to be a Kaido to take the kill. That is the spike on the floor, and Last Hope have suddenly put Deadeye Esports in the spot of bother.
That is true indeed. A 2-man advantage now for the side of Last Hope. I think the Grabner was really, really good coming in from the side of Devashish, but in the meanwhile, there was no real follow-up. And right now, the only follow-up is Lavish just landing those shots left, right, and center as they get another pistol in their favor, as they get a third on the board. This was a brilliant grabbed it. As I said, I think maybe his teammate Power should have just come in a little earlier, and I think things would have been different. But as I said, Lavish was on point with the aim, and last over, well, they get another round on the board. They're that much closer now to closing things. So once again, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a swift play. This is not a conventional, a typical full-on 13, first to 13 kind of situation. I mean, once again, whoever plays Swiftplay, this is a great opportunity for them. So, to learn as well, as a matter of fact. We get to learn a lot of different things. And you can see this is also a different game plan coming in. And EMP Kiddo, his positioning is beautiful. Devas just did not expect that as Abu takes on Power with that stinger.
Beautifully done to start things off right now as we have ourselves a 3v5 situation where Deadeye Esports, they are not in a great position once again, as now that they're on the attack, they have had moments where things have just fallen apart, and it looks like we might be seeing another round of that from them as the Hawk goes out, but shot off the board. Beautiful done from Abu with the shotgun, and EMP Kaido coming in for support. The Bucky doing all the work in the world as Masters is not the last one standing. All they can do is pull out this SMG, shots fired, and that little right there from from the chamber, I think gave away his position because the Bucky shot through the smoke. A little bit of that buckshot found him, and that of course is now going to put Last Hope very much in the driver's seat. 4-2 up. And we have ourselves a very, very difficult lead to fight against right now, as Deadeye Esports, they desperately need a couple of rounds to go their way.
Match point. Well, they need to make sure that they get this round here to set up Deadeye Esports, as otherwise, Last Hope will have the first map in the bag already, and 5-2 is going to be a very intimidating scoreline. As I said, they have all the utilities coming out from Deadlock on the side of A as well. Cypher's playing A as well, so it's a really good lockdown coming in. But the entirety of attackers are making their way towards A as well. So that's 5 versus 2 at the moment, and the rotations coming in from the side of defenders. Good shot coming in from there, but she's at the opens things up. That's a Cypher down. Elite gets one onto Abu as well. Now the Last Hope. Well, they're falling apart. While EMP Kiddo, he gets one. Can he keep this team together? Meanwhile, the Showstopper comes in, will not be landing whatsoever. Power gets EMP Kiddo, but Lavish is still alive. He's in that lunch area. He gets himself a double. He's not looking in the right direction. And now he is landing those shots. It's all down to Marcus now in a 1 versus 2. Puts down to a 1v1. The timing is perfect, and the aim is still the name of the game as he gets that one in the crispy shot. Keep his team still in the game.
The 1v2 right there from Masters really had to pull it out of the hat, as they will do that successfully. So now we have ourselves almost potentially an equalizer, and that of course is going to make things even more exciting. 3-4 right now. Deadeye Esports still in the deficit. They still need to win this round, and that's exactly what they need to focus on. The shots have been good, their aim has been on point, and they need to just be careful about where they decide to peek from, as we have once again another little piece of utility from the Cypher there. The tripwire going out, and looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a slowdown. Shots fired onto the A entry site here, but that's just Abu being careful through the smoke, watching and holding. Deadeye on the attack, deciding to slow down right now. It might actually be a good idea, as we have another set of smokes coming in, as we have the scout being destroyed right there for the attacker. So again, just a case of trying to find where these defenders are sitting. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the same situation. Barrier mesh here is going to stop Masters from really being able to aggress through into the A site. And again, it's just one of those moments where you really need to be careful about this. Judgy, he's got a couple of them coming in. He's going to trigger the cage right there and get the owl drone out. Decoy from the Yoru comes in, but he knows better than to peek that. And he's just trying to get an audio, trying to get some clue as to where Power could be. Little bits of damage have been done, but that's really all that has happened. Oh, dear me. Here comes the dimensional rift. He knows where the Cypher is, but doesn't know where the others are. Not yet. Looks like they're going to be pushing into B really hard through the market. But Abu comes around. He's got 2 huge kills. Xeon gets 1 more. And there we go. It's all the attackers falling apart left and right. And Last Hope is going to be the one to take away this very first map in a 5-3 scoreline. It got close, maybe a little closer than they might have wanted, but at the end of the day, they'll be the ones to take map 1 and the first advantage.
What a great start for the side of Last Hope, and well, overall a great performance, a great matchup between both of these teams. It did go the distance. I mean, but in regulation at least, all the 8 rounds were played, and they were hoping to maybe take us into that end game, that sudden death, that OT, but it is going to be Last Hope coming out on top with a 5-3, and Bind goes into their name. But we're only done with 1 map. We still have 2 more potentially, if that I can somehow make sure that they get the ascent to their name, right? But I really love the way that the side of Last Hope player, I'm sorry, especially Juggy. I mean, he was on Cypher, but he was those aggressive plays on the attack side, and even on defense. He was not afraid of taking those duels, even though he's alone on that B side. He was always going to be that first point of contact on B, and I think the information was being relayed at super fast pace, of course. Otherwise, the rotations would be on point, because last round Abu rotated pretty swiftly, to be really honest, and he got that double kill, and immediately the ults rained in, the Armageddon, the orbital strike, and there was no way the side of Deadeye Esports could actually recover after how that round turned out to be, unfortunately for them.
Absolutely. I mean, it just came down to picking your gunfights, right? And unfortunately, even at the last round there, they decided to, switch it up, feint out their initial push towards A, decide to go into B through the marketplace, through the long hallway by the teleporter, but unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. They got caught out by Abu very, very quickly, and it just all fell apart from there. But hey, that was just map 1, of course. It's Swiftplay. We're not done yet, as we have 1 more map at the very least to go, and that is of course Ascent. And it's once again going to come down to a lot of that utility based gunfights, right? You're combining what your utility is with what gunfights you can take. And again, I stress the importance of this a lot, but you really have to pick those gunfights at the moment where you have the advantage, right? That's what utility is for. And trust me, there's another esports title out there that specializes in that. I'm not going to say any names here, but if you know, you know. But the principles of that kind of carry over here as well. Your utility is sort of the stepping stone, right? And you use that to get an advantage, to get a position that you can then take advantage from, especially for players like controllers who have access to smokes, or players like initiators who maybe have flashes that they can aggress with. And the more you see of that, the better. And that's one of the reasons why I think I'm starting to like Deadlock quite a bit, as well as just one of those agents who can really create space and control so much of the map with the gravnet, with especially that barrier mesh, because either you shoot at its individual components if you're able to, or you shoot at the core. There's no other way to get around it. You get caught in that thing, there's probably a Deadlock very close by about to ruin your day. So those are things that you always have to watch out for. But folks, what you have to watch out for, of course, is the map number 2 that's going to be coming to you very, very soon indeed. That is of course Ascent, which is picked by Deadeye Esports. So they've picked up a very classic map. It's a very 50-50 map as well. However, given the fact that they've picked it up, I think we can expect a very, very tough fight for Last Hope in this one.
Maybe, once again, I'm looking forward to see the competition that is coming into, and also the mental, like, how are you going to be approaching this game now coming in, because you already are 1 map down for the side of Deadeye Esports, if you are. And the side of Last Hope, well, they're going to be feeling a bit more confident. Now, another agent that I feel like, could come into the mixture, and I would really love to see, I would have loved to see him on Bind, to be honest. I think Harbor is a great pick, especially in Swiftplay, right? I mean, you're not committing to a full game, you're still playing Swiftplay. And Harbor, I think the High Tide and Cascade combined with the Ultimate, I think it's going to be really, useful on any map, as a matter of fact. Take him as a primary controller, if not a secondary controller. I think you could make a lot of plays, using him. But once again, it's all speculation. I want to see if they want to go in with something different. As I said, I'm hoping to see like something horrendous, maybe like 4 dealers, 4 sentinels, anything that is just unconventional. Because these teams can go for those plays. Once again, as you said, this is not the the end game for them. They can still go to the lower bracket, still make their way to the grand finals. But of course, why would you take the hard way, right? Why would you take the longer route when you have a really good chance to close things off? Maybe that's what the side of Last Hope are talking about themselves right now about. Make this end as soon as possible. You can take a break. You can come back tomorrow, win that grand finals, take your winnings, get those bragging rights. GG, WP. But it's one thing's for sure. It's going to be fun for us. I'm pretty sure it's fun for the players as well, and the audience. I'm pretty sure they must be loving it.
Absolutely. I think it's just a case of finding what works for you, right? At the end of the day. Because again, this is esports. You have a little bit of room to play around with, especially in the BO3, right? You have that one map where, yeah, sure, things can go wrong, but you can always bounce back. You can always do a reverse sweep, especially with the very fast nature of Swiftplay. After all, you are only playing till the first team reaches 5 rounds, or, you know, you get to overtime and then you play from there. So it's not a long game. You're not playing all the way to 13. You're not playing all the way to, you know, a 13 and whatever scoreline. So you have very little time to adjust, especially, you know, on map 1. So whenever you have a loss on map 1, instead of, you know, taking it like, oh, we had this really long game and we couldn't adjust at the end of the day, like there is that element of trying to, you know, adapt, right? In a first 13, in a first of 5, you don't have that time. You have to play to your strengths as quickly as possible, and if it doesn't work, that's totally fine, because guess what? You have more coming up. You have your second map, and if you're able to win your second map, you have your third. So there's still time to adjust, still time to adapt, and still time to play to your strengths, and that's exactly what you should be looking to do when you're playing in Swiftplay, because again, as the name suggests, it's Swift. You're not here for, you know, just fun and games. You are here to get things done as soon as possible, as we all, you know, just wait for potentially what we have coming up next, which is the second map, and going forward from there, we will just have to wait and see what it is, excuse me, what it is that these teams have in store for us. And yeah, that's really all there is to it, right? Just a little bit of waiting, a little bit of talking, a little bit of getting to know each other, and of course getting to know all of our lovely viewers at home. Once again, make sure that you've got your drinks, make sure that you've got your food, because of course we'll be here for a minute, and as soon as we have a little bit more info on map 2, we will let you know, folks. Don't you worry.
I mean, we're just making sure, you know, the players are all mentally reset, and it looks like they are, as we already have the beautiful cinematic views of the map Ascent. Once again, classic map. Have not been away from the map pool, I think, ever. A map that we've pretty much seen everything on, like a 12-0 comeback, 11-1 comeback, a 10-2 comeback, and the infamous 9-3 comeback. Well, anyway, moving on. Is this going to be a comeback for the side of Deadeye Esports? Because if not, they probably are going to be kicked down to the lower bracket, and they have to fight Robot Aim immediately. Once again, they don't get a lot of time. They will, you know, still get a, you know, small amount of break, but that's about it. Last up on the other side, they will have the day off. They will be able to take the day off, come back tomorrow for their grand finals. But for now, let's take a quick look at the Asian composition. We have Omen, Sova, Yoru, Deadlock, Cypher. Once again, coming in. Last hope, they have something different here. On the side of Deadeye Esports, they have Yoru, Omen, Killjoy, Jet, and Sova. Pretty basic double duelist composition on the side. And I gotta say, Last hope, they might be the favorites, especially with this Asian composition.
I mean, they already have themselves a map advantage as well, right? So they're definitely favored at the moment, especially given that they've picked up that Deadlock, and we've seen just how, you know, for lack of a better term, deadly a Deadlock can be on this map. As much as, and don't get me wrong here, as much as I love the use of Jet from Deadeye Esports and, you know, the double duelist comp that they have going on there, I think at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to how that Deadlock is played as a pseudo duelist who can create space, who can control the map with her abilities. And I think that's going to be the difference maker, potentially speaking, between the two teams. You have, of course, Killjoy being brought in as well, which again, an agent that we have seen before time and time again when it comes to the map of Ascent, and not just in general the game of Valorant, right? Killjoy has been pretty much meta since almost day one of her introduction, which makes sense. KJ is just really, really strong. The alarm bot, the turret, and everything else in her kit, especially the lockdown. Like, goodness gracious, that creates so much space around the site. And again, it's just one of those cases where the moment you have that control, the moment you have that little bit of space made, you can aggress so hard with KJ that it's really, really hard to counter. So it's one of those moments where you gotta think on your feet, you know, as maybe Breach would say, off your feet. No, you got to think on your feet this time around. Think outside the box, and it's always going to be on the fly here, especially again with the quick nature of Swiftplay. We're getting through rounds fast. It is just clap, 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 and soon and before you know it, we're going to be in the 5th round or 6th round or even further than that, as the halves are very fast and very early. And of course, you're going to be back to a pistol round before you know it. There's very little time to adjust your playstyle on one particular side, because you're going to be in the other half before you know it. And that is something that both teams have to be so very weary of going into this next map here.
Well said. Once again, as I've always said, you pretty much just covered everything that both of these teams need to do, and pretty much give us all an understanding of what Swiftplay is and how you can actually play it out to win. I mean, of course, with everything going your way, that is, you never really know what can happen in a game, especially in a Swiftplay, right? Everything goes out the window. You don't really know what the enemies are going to do. You don't really have a strat that could counter it, because once again, you don't really, when you think of Valorant, you don't think about Swiftplay. So this is something different, as we've talked about it already. You have to, think on the feet, less number of rounds, as you said. You have to you need to keep being really, really adaptive to make sure that you are not being left behind by other teams, by other players, by your opponents as well. As a matter of fact, you need to be on top of your game. You don't have a lot of rounds to reset. You don't have timeouts, if I'm not wrong. You don't have 12 rounds per side to, even if you let go of the first 3-4, you can work your way back up later on. No, you need to start popping heads right from the get-go. Round 1, boom, boom, pap, pap. Otherwise, you are going to be the one going down. Now, Deadeye, they are on the back foot here. The last hope, well, they're going to be taking a chill pill, especially once again with this deadlock coming into that mixture. They really are going to be the favorites coming up, and probably the ones coming out on top, because they already have the momentum. They already have that pressure towards the on the side of Deadeye Esports. On the other side, Deadeye now with this under pressure, right? With the pressure on them, maybe they could utilize that as fuel to the fire and maybe come out on top, because last hope, they already, as I said, they already have one in the bag. They have that safety cushion. Deadeye Esports, they do have a safety cushion in the name of lower bracket, but you don't really want to take that route now, do you?
Absolutely. It's going to be, once again, a case of taking your positions very, very quickly. And you have Deadeye really pushing in through mid-market here. They want to get in. They want to get in fast. And they are trying to get a body here. Juggy, beautifully done. Finds Masters. And that's a huge kill to start things off. Elite as well. He's got himself the shock dart, throwing it out just to get positions. Beautifully done by MacDacking to get Xeon. That's one body down for the defenders, and last hope have been equalized upon. It's a 4v4 type situation. Make that a 3v4. Bodies are going to start falling as a boot goes down. That's a Cypher taken care of, and they're really trying to get in towards A. It's going to be an all-out brawl at the moment as locations revealed by the recon dart, but no, it's going to be denied because of the very fast teleport out by the Euro. Spike is planted on the floor, and it's now all down to this retake situation. Shock dart not finding its mark, as it all comes down to this. As 3 attackers just hiding in the site, holding it down to the best of their ability. We've got 2 people coming in from the overhang. And Elite could potentially find one. No, beautiful shot there from MacDacking, who's going to get one off the board. Lavish down. Juggy coming around the side with the gate. And Elite gets the other one. It's gonna be the side of Deadeye taking the first round.
A great start, you know, opening that, and then Mac as well getting those kills, but unfortunately, this position, especially coming in from Mac, I really loved it. He was out in the open with the sheriff. He understands that all he needs to do is land 2 body shots per player, and they will come out on top. Last hope, this was not the start that they were hoping for, of course, but the economy once again should not be a major issue. I mean, Deadeye Esports, they still will have that increased economy coming in with the bonus of the victory, but last up they will have some money to invest themselves. Of course, they have a stinger, a couple of stingers actually, and well, the only outlaw I believe that was on Juggy is now gone because they didn't have that shield to cover him up, and immediately they're making their way towards A as there's no more defense on towards A. It's just Cypher holding on to his control towards shot. Yori is already in the side. Jet now dashes in as well.
First body to go down, Juggy, and now a second one. EMP kind of off the board, and maybe a third. Not quite. A lot of damage done to Abu right there, but he's not going to be taken off the board just yet. So many shots are being fired towards the gate side. Lavish now taking a little bit of health off of that enemy Sova. More shots fired from the Outlaw, but again, just missing the mark here. Masters finds Abu, and it's all now down to the last one, Lavish, who just needs to get a couple maybe, or just save the gun. But no, you're not really going to get away with much if you save this particular one. And there you go. Power comes around, gets the kill. And that's going to be, I think, a flawless? Yeah, it is a flawless for Deadeye Esports. They are now 2-0 up, and they have really started off strong here.
And once again, you can't really be like, yo, it's just an eco round. It's just a flawless. I mean, it's still an eco round for the side of Last Hope. No, it's not. It's not. It's still a decent buy coming in from their side. It's just that they had weaker weapons and weaker shields, as a matter of fact. I think that Outlaw was just, you know, too good. But now, moving on. It is going to be a full buy round coming in from both of these teams. They have everything that they need. Maybe not all the util on Juggy, but they still have enough to invest into those really heavy weapons and full shields as well, as a matter of fact. So they need to be careful. The attackers now with this overdrawn making their way towards P as a knife gives away the information. I'm sorry, not the knife, the camera. They're giving information, but there's no one there. Abu gets a kill on the Masters. Now the first entry duelist is gone. Lavish, wait a second. I want to see a replay of that, but we'll talk about that in a minute as Abu gets taken down. It's still a 3v4. Man advantage for the side of Last Hope, and it's a retake.
Spike on the floor, and you're going to have yourself a recon dart going out, potentially speaking. Now, that was a shock one, and we have ourselves that stalemate situation. Last Hope, you can't exactly run away with this. You can't exactly just wait to save guns, because guess what? You need this round. Give yourself that entry. Give yourself that first round, and it's going to be very important. Shots fired. They're going to draw a lead out. Still loses Juggy in that moment, but still, we have the haunt coming in. Beautifully done. One attacker remains. Shots need to be fired right now, and it will be Lavish with the 4K coming in for the team. Beautifully done, and the defuse will happen as well. Last Hope will take their first round at a very crucial juncture of the game.
Last round before.
I think this round is all just Lavish. You know, he was just on point. Here's the thing. Look at this. Look at that. He had what, 1 bullet there at the end. Great, absolutely great trigger discipline there. And now with 44 points of health, he gets this kill onto Killjoy, and then his flash. I'm not really sure what Power is doing there, but he should not have whiffs that bad. Lavish should never have gotten that quad at the end, or triple. I'm sorry. But either way, it is going to be Last Hope with the first round on the board. And as I said, last round of the first half. They need this one to have a really good chance of closing things off. They don't want to give Last Hope that chance. But at the same time, Last Hope, they are the ones with a double sentinel. Right. They need to be careful. They needed more rounds in the defensive half. And unfortunately, the best they can do is equalize it. But here you go. Power now making his way into the side as he realizes that Deadlock's the only one standing right there in the open as Yon takes him down. Elite gets taken down, I'm sorry. And Lavish, he will connect that Hunter's Fury onto Power, but not before him taking down 2 players. Masters, I think he's holding. I think he understands that someone could have predicted this. And the play is once again slow towards A. A 2-to-1 split. Will they end up on A, as the defenders are leaning towards A as well?
Oh, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight on the A side. Masters really looking to get in through Cubby right now. If he does, he'll be able to find maybe one. But no, Abu has gotten the info. And the shots are about to be fired. Never mind, Abu falls, but the Jetstorm is stopped. As we have Kaido really doing the work. Gets two.
30 seconds left.
Taking off the board
Oh,
as well.
boy.
But McDacking not going to be able to get much off of that. As we had the Sova sitting on the overhang, just taking bodies. Lavish once again doing everything in their power right now to keep the team afloat. Last Hope will be able to, excuse me right there, Last Hope will be able to equalize the situation. It is a 2v2 right now, as Deadeye are very much losing that little bit of momentum that they had built up. And now that we're in the second half, Last Hope are on the attack, and this is where that double sentinel might turn out to be a little bit more, difficult to play around, given that, double sentinel is a very defender-sided pick. Although I say that, we've seen Deadlock work out before as well. It's just a matter of being a little bit more proactive in creating that space, and you will have yourself a good round.
Oh boy, Masters. He's in a lot of trouble there. EMP Kira gets himself a double actually. Gets power as well, but Devash is there to save the day. Will get that trade off, but I believe it's a little too late. He's already been bombarded with players. Devash, there was nothing he could do in a 2v4 right now. Elite and Mac the King. They need to go for this play as well. They need to go for this retake because there's no really point. There's not really a point here in you saving in a swift play. Even though it's the first round, you will still get the economy. Ooh, that's Sonic Sensor now being baited. Mac is on 10-21, I'm sorry, and he's gonna get taken down. Abu gets a kill. Lavish with the Sheriff trying to maybe go for the wall bang here. Elites get grab netted and taken down as well. Xeon with the headshot. Last Hope. Well, they get the lead once again. 2 more rounds, and they will make it to the grand finals.
Absolutely, they will. If they take just a couple more rounds, right? 3 and 2 up, they are very much close to series point here. And Deadeye, I don't think they were expecting to get completely taken by surprise right there. It almost felt like it, right? Especially with the way EMP Kaido got that initial double. So, we have ourselves a game, round number 6 coming in right now. 3-2 is the scoreline. And we have the Recon going out, as is normal. Just playing to their strengths, playing to what they need to find between these two players, these two teams. As Kaido is going to pull up a little bit. Juggy also getting ahead as Xeon's going to start things off with a good kill onto the Omen. But goes down on the other side. They don't know the corner. They don't know the corner, but it doesn't matter. Abu is able to stabilize, get the kill on the Masters. Power goes down as well as a 3v2 situation. Abu is so low on health, but he's going to get in here. The plant is going to happen. And now it's going to have to be, once again, a retake situation for Deadeye Esports as they need a couple kills here. They need this round to go their way. Once again, Xeon going ham with the LMG. Needs to reload. Will do so. As that is a 50-round drum mag. You're going up against. You do not want to get taken out the board with that one. And we have the recon dart going on. That's going to give away a position. He's going to get in there, but he's going to get taken down by Kaido. We have the Gravnet coming in. It's going to find him, and that should be... There we go. The final kill. McDacking. Xeon really just wanted to sit there and watch for a minute. A little bit of sadism coming in, potentially, from that deadlock. But regardless, beautiful plays coming in. Masters could have turned this round around with that corner play. Unfortunately, not to be. And as you can see, Xeon was more than happy to just sit there for a sec. Let him struggle. Let him just watch him suffer, pretty much. As now, Last Hope are now on the 4-2 scoreline. They are just inching closer to a complete 2-0 sweep here. And I gotta say, Edge, we've got ourselves a game.
Wait, I think we are already at the end here, if you ask me. Look at that, they're starting off once again. They're on the words of losing. The annihilation comes into play. Up close and personal. Elite. Oh boy, Deadeye Esports are they dead in the water right now, as they are gonna be dropping like dominoes. That's 3 players already out of the, sorry, 2 players out of the server here. 5v3 in the plant. The spike is ticking here. Last Hope. The clock is ticking for the side of Deadeye. And it's not just the clock that's ticking, it's the players as well, as the hopes
Attackers
are
win.
gonna be gone and destroyed for the side of Deadeye Esports. It's gonna be last hope coming out on top in a better fashion this time around. Last time it was 5-3, this time it's 5-2.
Well. We have ourselves our first, I believe, grand finalist here. Yes, indeed. It's going to be Last Hope, who are going to take it 5-3 and 5-2 and a 2-0 over Deadeye Esports. They will move on to the grand finals tomorrow for the Valorant Swiftplay here at Lenovo, and Intel presents India's Top Gamer featuring Mythpat. Deadeye Esports on the other side, they will move down to the lower bracket finals because they are not done yet. This matchup, or I should say this tournament run, is not quite over. They have to go up against Robot Aim to prove themselves, as they need this next match to go their way. If they are able to, then boy howdy, we're gonna have once again a potential revenge tour tomorrow in the grand finals. Deadeye Esports right now, they are looking to get that for themselves, right? Last Hope, they were beautiful in these two maps. They have shown that, when it comes to Swiftplay, they know what they're doing. They know how to conduct themselves, and they absolutely were on fire, I'll tell you what. Deadeye, credit where credit is due. They did push Last Hope quite a bit. It just wasn't enough at the end of the day.
It definitely was not enough, but it was a great game, both the maps, as a matter of fact, Bind and Ascent. Well, we've talked about the unbreakable, unbeaten streak, and right now, Last Hope is the only team with that unbeaten streak. They have not lost a single game in the entirety of this Valorant Swiftplay tournament. So let's see if Grand Finals has a different story, if there's a twist in the tail in the Grand Finals. But for now, the unfortunate part is that I didn't lose any matches up until now. Well, this is their first loss, and well, they're kicked down to the lower bracket, and they will have another chance. They will have to face Robot Aim, as you said. And the worst part is, the match is going to be up, in a bit, like in a few minutes. They don't really have that much time to reset. They don't really have a lot of time to, go back, strategize, reanalyze their gameplay. They will have to, take a short break and then come back and, deal with a bit more action against Robot Aim this time. But talking about breaks, we are going to be taking a short break as well, as we are done with upper bracket finals. We'll be back with a lower bracket final.
Reach your impossible with the AI-powered Legion Pro 7i, Lenovo Legion.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Lenovo and Intel presents India's top gamer featuring Mythpat. I'm your host Blackjack. Joining me once again is Edge, as we are back for the second best of 3 here tonight at the Valorant Swiftplay tournament. Yes, indeed, we are 2 BO3s in one night. We are blessed indeed, as we just had the first one between Deadeye Esports and Last Hope, and Last Hope took it away with a 2-0 sweep on both maps. 5-3 and 5-2, I believe the scorelines were. Now we're going to be moving on to a little bit more of a lower bracket run, the lower bracket finals here between Deadeye Esports and Robot Aim. Edge, what do you think we will be expecting, and how are you feeling on this fine evening?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, especially after that first BO3. You know, as you said, we are blessed indeed to witness a second BO3 as well. Beautiful gameplay between the sides of Deadeye and the Last Hope. Well, now it's time for Deadeye to show up yet again, but against a different opponent. It's going to be Robot Aim, who once again I believe had enough rest. In the meanwhile, I gotta say there is a lot more pressure on the side of Deadeye Esports, because they had just lost their matchup, right? And they are now pushed down to the lower bracket. They have to play again. Now, I would say I don't want to talk about the resilience, because it's not those, you know, those first to 13 rounds. It's not really long matches. So this is just a basic, you know, like 5-6 quick rounds. That's about it. So there's not gonna be a lot on that mental. It's not gonna be a lot on that stamina, that physical activity coming in. But at the same time, talking about that mental, they are just recovering from a loss right now, and they need to win this. This time, they don't have that safety cushion anymore. It's a do or die situation for a spot in that grand finals, and the same is for Robot Aim as well. They were pushed down to the lower bracket. Now, they already defeated Zenith in the lower bracket match, and this is the second lower bracket matchup for them. It is a lower bracket final. The winner will face the side of Last Hope tomorrow, of course, in a best of 5.
That best of 5, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be really, really cool to see. But right now, of course, we're gonna zoom back in, as very soon we're gonna go into the map selections as soon as we have them, folks. Between these two teams, that is Deadeye Esports and Robot Aim. Now, of course, Deadeye Esports roster needs no introduction. We just saw them. But of course, Robot Aim, they are gonna be the ones up next for us to see. And of course, some of these names you might even know, as you have Amun LaFlame, Gamer Bleak, I believe that says, Hellboy, and of course a couple others in there that well, there's Fearless and Newbie, of course, but there's one name in there that I really cannot read. I don't know what that spiel of letters is, but we'll find out when we get into the match. Regardless, those names, keep them in mind, as of course 5 of them will be in a play. I'll tell you what, LaFlame, it's been a minute since I've heard that name, but I distinctly remember commentating over their games, of course, as that team that he is or used to be a part of. Well, I'll tell you what, they are an exciting team. But right now, pretty sure LaFlame will pretty much be leading the charge when it comes to Robot Aim here. And that's to be expected, right? When you have someone as vastly experienced as LaFlame in your team, you want to let him lead. You want to let him call the shots. You want to let him do the talking. And of course, the rest of the team follows suit with, a little bit of constructive feedback of their own.
True.
But on the other side, Deadeye Esports, we got to see a good amount of what they are capable of what they are able to pull off, which wasn't too bad. All things considered, a few rounds got really, really close at the end there. Unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. But with all that said, folks, we will be getting into it in just a very short moment. Don't you worry. But right now, all things considered, given that we've pretty much taken care of the pre-match preamble here, so to speak, Edge, I would ask this instead of what I normally ask. Is like, oh, what do you expect out of the match? What kind of maps do you think we might see in this best of 3?
No, I think Bind is going to be coming in the picture again. I think it is going to be coming in again. I'm pretty sure, because once again, that is one of those maps that I said, with no middle, so gives you a bit more play time / a bit more opportunities as a defender. So heavily defensive favorite, if you ask me. But at the same time, just because Deadeye has already played that one, I'm a bit iffy if Robot Aim will be okay playing that one. But let's see, because Robot Aim also could be really good on that one. But at the same time, I think Sunset could be a really good play. I definitely want to see Corrode, but I don't think any of these teams would want to, take that risk in a situation, a do or die situation like this. You don't really want to go into those maps where you don't really have a lot of grasp onto the map, and just the experience. You have not played enough games on that map when compared to the other ones, of course. But I do definitely think that Ascent could be again in the mixture. As much as I hate to admit it, it is one of the most played maps, and it is one of the best maps in Valorant. So I think Ascent could be in the picture. Now, the last map, now that is debatable. If it goes the distance, I think maybe Icebox could be the decider this time. Once again, that's just me talking purely from my gut. I am just speculating this from, whatever's inside. The voices in my head are telling me these things. And no, I'm not talking about production there. I'm just talking about the voices that are deep down buried in my head. No, I'm not Randy Orton. I wish I was. But yeah, these are the maps I'm looking forward to. But my fingers crossed, but I hope the Bind is in the mixture.
I'll tell you what, if Bind does come back, I won't be too disappointed, because we need to see more of these different maps, right? I know that Corrode gets banned pretty much every single time, left, right, and center, and I guess for a tournament like Swiftplay, it does kind of make sense, right? Corrode is, I believe, the newest map, so it's going to take some time for teams to kind of figure it out, understand what kind of playstyle it supports, and maybe Swiftplay isn't quite the place for that. Maybe a more traditional tournament is where we would see a map like Corrode be played, and that is, of course, 100% valid, right? As we have ourselves, there we go, the map picks coming in. We've been talking so much about the maps, we manifested it here. Icebox and Ascent have been banned here, so the first pick from Deadeye is going to be Bind. There you go, they bring it back for themselves. Bind and well, never mind all of that preamble about how Corrode might not be, picked here, might not be the best situation to play that map. Guess what? Corrode is going to be the second pick by Robot Aim. Lotus is going to be our decider map. Once again, the triple-sided map is the decider. But I do have to say, Corrode coming in, this is going to be my first time actually, spectating and commentating the map of Corrode. So Edge, if you've had that experience before, you're going to have to carry me a little bit, quote unquote, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But we're going to be moving into that agent select screen very, very soon, folks. Don't you worry. But with all that said, I got to say, this is quite the selection of maps. Bind, Corrode, and then the side of Lotus.
Yeah, we were talking about, how Corrode could not be in the mixture, and Bind definitely could be. Well, another surprise element is that the decider is Lotus. It's not Haven, but it's still another 3-sided map up, right? It still has a lot more elements, like the doors especially coming in, and the rotations that could take forever if you play it wrong, and if you play it right if you're on the other side. So looking at the map pool coming in now, Bind, I already think we already know what to expect coming in from both of these teams. Maybe another double center matchup. It could be a similar kind of gameplay that we just witnessed here in the first map, Last Hope versus Deadeye Esports. Now, moving on further, Corrode. Now, interesting things here. Corrode usually is a double initiator setup. Usually, we've seen a lot of players pick up a double Senti as well. Now, we were talking about Icebox, that is not in the mixer anymore. But we'll talk about Lotus when we actually get there. The first two maps are inevitable, right? We will be seeing Bind. Here we go. We talk about it. And we will definitely be, witnessing the side on the map of Corrode as well. And once again, as you said, it's the first time we're going to be witnessing that map. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. But we'll talk about Bind at the moment. And Robot Aim, I'm pretty sure they have already, they've already seen what Deadeye Esports are doing on this map. And the agent composition, well, it looks like they're picking up similar to what to the side of, Last Hope, that is. A double Senti combined with the Yoru as a duelist in Sky as well. Once again, 4 flashes, I've said. And it's not going to be a Clove this time around. It's going to be Cypher, Deadlock. There you go. Brimstone coming into the mixture. Deadeye Esports on their hand. They have Raze, Brimstone, Deadlock, Fade, and Sky. They're going in with a single Sentinel this time. No more Chamber. It's a Fade in the mixture.
Okay. A Fade being brought in to the play here, or at least that's what we would think. They're going to be switching around quite a bit, as we have Hellboy. It's still kind of deciding. He went through quite a few agents there, ultimately landing on the Cypher. So it's a double Sentinel there, but a singular Sentinel from the side of Deadeye Esports. It's going to be double Duelist instead, with Raze and Yoru coming in. Now, Deadeye Esports looks like they are going to be on the attack here, so you got to be careful with your picks, right? Because again, a double Duelist, very much an attacker-favored lineup. However, of course, at the end of the day, even if you have an attacker-favored lineup, that could work for you when it comes down to the defense. So it's going to come down to how they choose to play this, how they choose to aggress against their enemies, and how they overall conduct themselves on this map. Now, given everything we've seen so far from them, I have complete faith in the fact that Deadeye Esports are going to give us quite the game to remember, right? And I think that's, at the end of the day, what we are looking forward to. That match with Last Hope that we had on Bind, it actually started off pretty much equal, right? 2 and 2.5, and then it was Last Hope who pulled ahead to 5-3 by winning 3 rounds in the second half, each half being 4 rounds respectively. So what it's going to come down to for Deadeye Esports is going to be an early lead in the first half. If it will be a 3-1, I believe, then they have a very good chance of pulling ahead in the lead. If it's a 2-2, then, well, as we know, it's anybody's game after that.
I mean, definitely, it could go, either way once you have the equalizer coming in, and you need to make sure that you win the pistol. I mean, you might think, we were talking about the economy coming into play. You don't really have that much of you don't take that much of a hit, even if you lose. But since the introduction of Outlaw, right, that 140 damage, and not just that, because the economy is not enough to go for that full shield. If you're investing in any weapons, not pistols, of course, not upgraded pistols, but if you're investing in a Stinger even, you will not have enough money to invest in that full shield, which could be an issue if you have amazing Outlaw players against you. Now, anyone can use an Outlaw, but not everyone is an amazing Outlaw player. Let me get that straight. Now, moving on, here we go. Once again, we're taking a quick look at the agent composition again, and is there a change? Oh, there is a change. There is a change, I believe. There's no more Fade now, is it? Or was Fade not logged in last time? Because I see a Yoru this time on Masters.
Yeah, I think they toyed with the idea of bringing in the Fade, right? That's when we saw that agent potentially getting picked up, but also getting denied. I mean, not locked in, as you said. And looks like that's still going to be the case. Double Sentinel defense from Robot Aim, and we have the double Duelist attack from Deadeye Esports. Of course, with the supports around the double comp being pretty much the same, as you have Deadlock, Sky, and Brimstone from both sides.
A double Sentinel versus a single Sentinel, a double Duelist yet again. I mean, we've seen Deadeye Esports do this on the map of Ascend. Well, this time they're doing it on the map of Bind as well. Masters picking up that Yoru instead of the Chamber. They kind of understand that Chamber was not really giving them that value that they wanted in that first game up. But let's see how things go here in, let's just call this take 2 for the side of the Esports. Well, do or die situation for both of these teams. The winner will move on to the grand finals. So, well, the loser, they still get a piece of that cake, 40,000 to be exact. But that's not what they came here for. It's not even the money. It's not the bigger piece of the cake they came here for. It's the bragging rights. Well, the money does help keep track. And Deadeye Esports, they were so close to making that spot in the grand finals. Well, now they have to work their heart out yet again. And Robert Aim, they were kicked down, I believe, by the side of Deadeye itself. They were in a 2-1. The last time these two teams faced off, it was the upper bracket semi-finals. And Deadeye, they beat Robot Aim. I believe the first match was 5-3, and then Robot Aim beat Deadeye in a 5-1. A very, good fashion, if you ask me. Insane destructive fashion. And Robot Aim, they lost the last one 3-5 in the favor of Deadeye Esports. And Deadeye pushed Robot Aim down, and Robot Aim had to take down Zenith in a 5-1 and a 5-4 fashion. The OT, of course, that is. The end game, sudden death, whatever you want to call it. And then now we're back for the revenge match. And now the last time we've seen a revenge match, the revenge was served. Now, the revenge was taken this time. Is it going to be a similar case? Can they get that revenge? Or is Deadeye going to put Robot Aim back where they belong?
Well. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out as we are getting set up for the map of Bind, folks. And you can see the side of the defenders having a little bit of fun right there for Robot Aim, just going a little bit, round and round you go, around the carousel. Of course, there's no carousel, it's just an imaginary one right now. But, regardless, we have ourselves a very interesting beginning, I believe. Again, first round's always important, regardless of if you're playing Swiftplay or if you're playing the traditional tournament style. So, as you can see, I do like how they're almost kind of role-playing, taking a selfie. You can see with the Cypher, Hellboy has his Aldrone out there. I do like the team spirit coming in from the side of Robot Aim right now. This is nice. This is just one of those moments where you gotta have to take it in. Just take a second, take it all in. You're here, you're in the lower bracket finals. It doesn't matter what the end result is going to be. What matters right now is that you're having fun. You are, at the end of the day, playing Swiftplay. This isn't going to be nearly as serious as a traditional Valorant game, even though, there is a lot to fight for at the end of the day. A whole 1 lakh of the prize pool, that's nothing to scoff at. And even then, third place does end up getting 40k, which is not too bad either. But again, it's not 1 lakh, right? It's not the lion's share of that 2 lakh prize pool. So that's what they want to do right now. As you can see, both sides just having fun, making a little bit of noise with the utilities. And of course, if you're in the chat right now waiting for this game to get started, make some noise for yourselves and give yourselves a little bit of a round of applause for sticking with us for so long, because we will have more coming in between today and tomorrow, folks. As right now, it's just a little bit of a waiting game, and there you go. Timer's ticking down, so it's going to be the first round proper coming in, the pistol rounds for this lower bracket finals Swiftplay.
This is going to be a good one. Again, I can't wait for this, for things to get started here on the pistol round. Once again, it looks like the similar approach coming in from the side of Deadeye. They are starting off with the B. They want to take control of B, not long this time around. They want to make sure that they get this control on towards Hookah, and they will spot out multiple players. Let's give a Bleak. They get the kill onto Power. Hellboy, he spots up one. He will get himself a double as well, and just like that, everyone's dropping. The only one standing right now is Mac, and he will get 1. Can he get 3 more? He's going to be grabbed there, but before even he could sit down. Daffy, is that how you pronounce the name? I'm so sorry if I'm absolutely butchering it. But yeah, he's going to be the one getting that final blow there. Robot Aim. Brilliant start.
Absolutely. Gotta say, that was swift. Haha, I gotta see what I did there. I'm here all week, folks. Swift in Swiftplay, really putting it in there. But at the moment, we, of course, just need to wait and see what Robot Aim are going to be able to do about this lead that they have. 1-0 right now, and I gotta say that set of letters, Daffy, I believe, might actually be the actual name, but I'm gonna call him DPY because it's a little bit of a fun reference for me. Hellboy is gonna get the first one. That's huge right there. Masters to fall, shots are fired, and the Cypher will fall as a result. We have the push coming in from Deadlock, but that was really ill-advised. He just pushed in without checking, and now we have the grab net going out. Might actually find one more here. Shots fired through that smoke, giving them a little bit of cover, but not a whole lot, as we have ourselves that scout coming out, and we have a molly in here that's going to stop Magdacking from pushing in aggressively. It's now a 2v3 situation. The side of Deadeye Esports, they need a body here. They need to equalize if they want to even try to go for the plan. Shots fired again. They know that they're both sitting in here by the garden side, and that's going to be one Sky on another. It's all run down to Elite. Who gets one? Who gets two? Can he get three? Yes, he does!
Oh my.
Some things you just can't teach.
Oh my god. Okay, wow. He's gonna be really, really mad when they see the stream. He was on 7 points of health. That is not what you want. Robot aim, they probably just gave away a round for free. He was on 33 here. There you go. 33. Okay, let's just say 33 points of health. He was 1 bullet away. Oh boy, that is just unfortunate. Now coming in, I suppose they're gonna be really, really happy. And Elite, that's gonna boost a lot of confidence. He's on 4 kills already, the top of the server. Full buy round coming in from both the sides again. The Vandals and Phantoms out. A lot of utilities to work with as well, and the ultimate neural theft is actually up on the side of defenders here. So let's see if Hellboy can actually put it to good use, as the play is going to be towards A from the side of attackers, as the Yoru and Brim, they take control of this showers, and the guiding light gives them the information the defenders need, and the play is going to be towards A, as the defenders are making their way as well. But Deadeye Esports, they already have everyone in their eye dead.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Alright, that's going to be power taken off the board, and Hellboy lost from standing. And here we have it, neural theft coming in. He really wants these, really wants that info right now. Gets the spike planter away, but no, shots fired through the smoke, and it's going to be Elite once again coming in, taking that final body. Beautifully done indeed, as Deadeye Esports will take that early lead right about now. DE 2-1 up, and that is of course a good position to be in. That double duelist comp coming in a little bit handy right now, I would say. I think, however, on the other side, Elite has really been, you know, putting that charge in, really taking charge of the game. 6-1 overall in 3 rounds. You gotta give it up to him. As we move into round number 4 here, and once again the flash goes out. A little bit of a self flash right there, but he has the time to quickly get himself back on his feet. Shots fired, more flashes coming in. They really want to push him to the side of A right now. And we have the ults coming in. We have 2 bodies down, but DPY gets one of their own. Masters will fall, and that's going to be the Deadlock, who has been deadlocked. It's going to be one of these defenders, I believe. There we go. DPY is off the board. The spike has been planted. It's a 2v4 situation right now between Hellboy and Aman, who need to get, once again, a couple of bodies. They're in a retake position. Of course, there's no saving when it comes to Swiftplay. You got to get these rounds. You got to get them quick, and they got to get these bodies. That is for sure. Hellboy's coming around. Shots are fired towards the top side. Once again, you're stopped because of that barrier mesh. You can't really move right now. Aman gets one, gets taken out the board. Position go to where the Cypher, and it's Elite once again coming around with the double of his own. Making it, I think, 8 kills now for this Brimstone player. Really taking the lead as Deadeye Esports go up 3-1.
Elite is just, you know, stepping up huge right now. After, I mean, he got that immense confidence boost after that particular round with the 33 points of health, and he got himself a triple. They had to close out the second round on the board. First round on the board for the side of Deadeye, and second round in the map. Well, now, this special round, if Deadeye gets this one, I think it's all done and dusted for them. They could beat Robot Aim in a fashion that they were beat last time. 5-1 was what Robot Aim took down Deadeye Esports, the only map that they won against them. Now, Deadeye looks to do the same for them. I'm sorry. But let's see how things go. As Devashishi looks to block off shot with the barrier mesh coming into play. There's no enemies coming in from that angle. Oh boy. Oh, that is great. That is absolutely nuts. But the flash was there to save the day. He does manage to get one, but the trade is there. Aman takes down his counterpart. It's still a 4v4. Elite still dropping heads, but he will get dropped in the end.
Spike has been put on the floor. Flash comes out, and Masters is really chasing this kill onto Amon right now. He wants it. He wants it badly. But no, he took out the knife just for that extra bit of speed, and Amon came around saying, no sirree. That's a triple kill for that Deadlock, but he's so low on health. He's got to be careful about this. Raises grenades are going out, so that's going to be a little bit more to worry about. Hellboy falls to power as well. It's all this one Deadlock. Amon, the last one standing, pistol in hand. He's going to try and find his way around towards potentially a short, and that could be his downfall. Shots fired. There we go. Power's going to take the kill. And this is now a 4-1 Deadeye. Well, let's just say that Deadeye is activated, refilled, and now charged up. Once again, 4-1 to them as they are in the first map point.
This is just brilliant. Great game plan coming in from the side of Deadeye Esports, and I think they are in a hurry to finish things off here. You know, they understand that their previous matchup was not what they expected to go. You know, like a 0-2 fashion. Unfortunate for the side of Deadeye Esports, but next time they look to make sure that they get a 2-0 in their fashion as well. Last time it was 2-1 against this team, and this time, well, it's going to be 1-0 at least for now, as Masters opening things up once again towards Hellboy. The nade is perfect. We'll be dealing with the damage, but that's about it. But there is going to be a trade immediately. Power survives it. The grab net will get him, and he will get one before going down. It's a 2v3 situation as the Annihilation coming into play. Is that the fake? I believe that's the fake that's gone.
Oh dear me, DPY just managed to get a lead in there. That's going to be a good body to follow. Mun finds another one. It's now all down to this Deadlock, the last one standing, coming around. He's going to throw one grab net. He's going to find a body. He's going to need to find one more. He's going to be able to do that. He sees him. He does get it. Beautiful 1v2 clutch right there for the Deadlock and for Deadeye Esports, who will take this first map in emphatic fashion as they now have it 5-1 for map number 1. And what a way to start things off, and what a way to get that confidence back after what was an unfortunate game 1.
Ooh, this was a great game coming in from the side of Deadeye Esports. I mean, you gotta give, you know, Robot Aim that credit. The first round, it was clean. It was very, very good. You did not expect Deadeye Esports to turn the tide the way they did. Right, I mean, Deadeye Esports, they were down, and then Elite gets that triple kill at the end, securing that round, and then, well, they just, you know, they were riding the momentum ever since. Well, that's going to be the storyline for game number 1. We're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're just done with one map, right? It was Bind. It's out. Now, we'll talk about map number 2. What can happen before we head down to Lotus? I believe the decider is. But what's going to be the, you know, what's going to be the play? What do you think? Is there a chance that they can actually come back here at the side of Robotame on map number 2? Do you think it's another 2-1 situation in either of these teams' favor, or do you think it's a 2-0 for the side of Deadeye?
I mean, given the way that I played map number 1, I'm tempted to say it's almost going to be a 2-0, right? They've got the momentum. They're riding high, riding the confidence in the mental. While on the other side, Robot Aim might not be feeling that good about things. And I wouldn't blame them, really. Given that you just went down 1-5 in a Swiftplay tournament, you're going to have a lot riding against you right now. Time to adapt is very low. And this little break they have between the two maps is all they're going to get, really. So you got to take this time. You got to talk to your teammates, and you got to make sure that whatever damage was done to your mental game doesn't hamper your play going forward. You need these rounds to go your way. You need to pick your gunfights, you need to play to your strengths, and you need to go pretty much from there. Now, with all that said, I do have to say this much. We are going on a map that isn't very often played, Corrode, right? So we have ourselves quite the I would say quite the unpredictable matchup right now, because again, I haven't had the pleasure of casting Corrode before. This is going to be my first time seeing this map, and that's going to be one of those maps, I believe, that kind of changes things up. Who knows? It might even be the impetus here for Robot Aim to turn things around and give us a third map. We'll only have to wait and find out.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. This could be the pivot that they need. Just turning everything around. Because last time as well, Robot Aim, they were down the first map. Then they did defeat Deadeye in a 5-1 fashion. I mean, what map was it? I don't really have that information, but it was 5-1, right? Which means they have the potential to do to beat the side of Deadeye, not just, by the skin of their teeth, in a comfortable, in a dominating fashion. So maybe Corrode is the start of something beautiful for them, or it could be the beginning of the end for them. It could go either way for them. But on the other side, Deadeye Esports, they have already secured one map. They're one more map away to face the side of the last hope once again in that grand finals. Well, here we have the scoreboard actually for this map up, and well, it has to be Elite. I mean, he was the one. He was the one that initiated that comeback, that flip, and well, as I said, there was no stopping them once he started it.
Absolutely. There really wasn't any kind of stoppage put onto Deadeye's overall playstyle. Once they got started, once Elite got that 4K 1v3 clutch, and I call it a 4K 1v3 because it was both at the same time. He gotten, I believe, one of the first kills in the round just in general, and then he was caught in a 1v3 and he was like, nope, easy, light work, well, just watch this. And then proceeds to not only clutch it out, but continue to get, I think, almost double kills every single round after that. So yeah, credit where credit is due. That Elite is a fantastic gunner, but not taking anything away from Aman there as 8-5-1 up. Not bad either, given the fact that Robot Aim was pretty much punished almost every single round by the side of Deadeye. You can see that they almost matched them for overall kill turnaround, except of course for the second place where you have Raze with the 8 and 4, and on the other side, Cypher, or Hellboy I should say, 4 and 6. So overall, it was just a case of losing those gunfights for Robot Aim that they really needed to, unfortunately, kind of get their shots in first. And of course, like I said before, it's all about utility. It's all about playing to your strengths, and it's all about making sure that, you get yourself into a advantageous position. At the end of the day, that double sentinel play didn't really work out for them, as we saw, of course, and now we're gonna have to see what they have for us on the map of Corrode, as we are well and truly done with what all information we had for the map of Bind. I will say though, I like the fact that Bind has been picked up a couple of times here, and I would like to potentially see it in the wider tournaments of Valorant going forward. But guess what, folks, we're not going to be taking too much time here, as we're going to be going into the map of Corrode very, very soon indeed. And I'll tell you what, I'm getting a lot of gothic vibes from the overall architecture of this map.
I am loving it. This is just too good. I mean, the cinematic views. Ooh, huge shout out to production once again. That's some crazy work. I really like the first two shots that were brought up. It was just, it did not feel like you were watching an FPS game. It felt like you're in a movie, for a second. It took me as, what is this? Why have I not seen this? That is very cool and interesting. I want to know what it's carrying. Is that Radianite? I really love how Valorant also keeps up with the lore that are these like Bad Bunnies? Oh, that's different. There you go. They're playing cool soccer as well. Here. I have never seen these in the map. It's the first time I'm witnessing. I mean, I've played the map multiple times. I've had the pleasure of casting this as well, but just never seen these, let's just say, props all over the map.
Well, with all that, kind of taken into consideration, we did have the agent select coming in from both sides as well. I do believe we saw Deadeye Esports picking up a Clove, potentially speaking, for this map, while for Robot Aim, I believe we saw a Fade coming in alongside the overall pick of, I think, Yoru as well. So we'll have to just wait and see what the agent selects have in store for us once we get into the game here, folks. But yeah, like you said, the cinematics of Corrode certainly look really, really good. And all those purple crystals on the ceiling of almost every single building here, looking like a potential blast that went through the top of this map. That might actually be Radianite, is what you call it, right? I'm not exactly too caught up with Valorant's lore, so you'll have to educate me on that once we finish the stream. But whatever the crates are, whether it's you know, Diet Coke or Radiant, we'll find out later on. For now, we'll have to find out what the gameplay on this map is going to be like. But I love the details over here. I love how this map seems to just flow with itself, right? Just keep taking a second to look at all of this. There's a lot of care put into this map of Corona, a lot of love clearly from the level design team. And again, shout outs to them, shout outs to production as well for showing us this cinematic before we get into the actual game here. And there we have it. So let's have a look at the agent selects from both sides, folks. As from the side of Robot Aim, we've got ourselves a Yoru Omen, a Deadlock Neon, and a Fade. But on the other side, for the side of Deadeye Esports, we've got ourselves a Yoru, Fade, Deadlock, Clove, and I do believe Mythpat picking up one of the newer agents as well. Shots are fired. We'll get back to that in just a second. As one Yoru takes down the other, DPY gets another one off the board. Two attackers off the board already, and Deadeye Esports start off on the back foot. Masters coming around, taking one of their own, taking two, taking three. Wait a minute! Masters is the one who could be potentially clutching things up here. Gets taken off the board with three players taking him off. However, still, it's a 2v2 equalized situation here, especially thanks to that beautiful play from Masters. Shots fired here. He takes one, he takes two. Hellboy and Gamerly coming around. And Robot Aim take their first round.
What a chaotic start and what a chaotic end as well to the round, you know. And honestly, chaotic mid-round as well. You know, Masters almost getting himself an ace, a pistol ace, to start things off. That would have been brilliant. He got himself a triple on in a position where he should not have been able to get even one, you know, but then somehow managed to put the nails to the side of Robot Aim. Well, they do get the round once again. Pistol is in their name, but can they keep it up? Can they keep the lead to themselves is the question. Aman. Oh, the outlaw this time not working in their favor as Aman lands one shot, but Deadlock is still surviving. Let's just say surviving. He's not healthy, but he definitely is surviving. And this Yoru is going to TP out of this position. This Neon is in a tough spot here. The plant is going to be coming in. The lead once again is there to produce those unbelievable rounds. And Master with another double in mid. Now it's all down to LaFlame. You know, 1 versus 5. And well, there's not even nothing. There's nothing that even the mighty LaFlame can do in a situation like this. Deadeye steal the round yet again. They show us why they are a team to be reckoned with.
And much like what happened on Bind, we have ourselves a 1-1 going into round number 3. An almost mirror situation, except for, of course, when it came to Bind, it required a 4K 1v3 from Elite. Not so much this time around. Elite has been given the permission to just kind of sit back and chill, even though pretty sure they're not going to. Masters on the other side, 5-1. For that player. Beautifully done, as once again Robot Aim find themselves the recipient of a lot of fire. But right now, Power's going to be the one to going down for that fire, as we have both Deadlocks with their with their barrier meshes once again creating space. But again, no matter what the utilities are, the shots need to be the shots are what need to connect. As we have Masters pretty much just in such a bad position. He still turns around and shuts down Hellboy. How do you do that? He's got himself a little overheal as well, thanks to, of course, the close ability. But right now, it is a 2v3 situation. Masters is so very low on health as well. You gotta find a body. You gotta find it fast. And there we go. McDacking is gonna go for the plant. And it is now up to the defenders for a retake. We have ourselves Elite coming in, the Prowler. Not going to find anyone just yet. No positions revealed. He wants to get in. Shots are fired through the boxes, which will give away the position of that Vise right about now. But McDackin could potentially play to his strengths. It all depends on what these entries are. Here we have the flash coming in. McDackin pulls it ahead. Regardless, it's a 3K for them. Gets taken down, but Elite comes around, finds the Yoru. And we have Deadeye Esports now 2-1 up. They take that early lead.
Deadeye with another round in their favor, but at least this one was a bit more contested, if you ask me. Robot Aim, well, they're showing signs of life, and there is a really good chance that they could actually convert another round. But the ultimates now available for the side of Deadeye Esports. I mean, they're not dead yet. They have the Nightfall coming in, Steel Garden. The only ultimate that the side of Robot Aim has is that he's going to be the Dimensional Drift. I mean, they will get the NL8 reaction in a bit. But the Nightfall is already used pretty early into the round as well. They will be marking 3, but the way towards B is blocked, and they get the information as well as the barrier mesh will be destroyed. And the Steel Garden is invested as well. Masters immediately running in the not dead yet. The Annihilation comes into play as a power. Unfortunately, is going to be the one going down. And well, here you go. The Yoru gets one Hellboy with the kill. Power goes down to the Annihilation. As Devashish in the lead now, the only one standing as the Spike is really, really far away. Devashish, can he get the kill? Nope, he's not going to be able to do so. Hellboy drops him, and the lead is in a lot of trouble with the amount of HP that he has. There's nothing he can do apart from going down. It's a 2-2 scoreline, an equalizer. That's what we've been waiting for.
That's our first half pretty much done and dusted here. Equalized between the two sides as Robot Aim are going to go on the attack and Deadeye on the defense. I gotta say, well played by Robot Aim. All things considered, they had their ults, especially the Nightfall coming in, and I think that gave them a lot of room to work with for, of course, their aggressive plays. They were not, just content to sit in the site and wait for them to come in and aggress. They were going to be the ones doing the aggressing, and oh boy, did it work out for them. Right now we have ourselves the 2-2 as Deadeye, of course, are now on the defense, and this is where their composition is going to be tested as we have the timer ticking down. Here we go. Pistol round for the second half as the barrier mesh goes out. Prowl will not find much, unfortunate for the side of Robot Aim, but plenty of time given thanks to the smokes of the Clove for the Yoru to just come in and say, hey, I'm gonna take down the barrier mesh. Thorns on the floor as we have the flashes coming in, but no kills taken. Gamer Bleak is low on health, so is McDacking. Shots are fired, and there we go, pushes in, and Robot Aim are really getting in here. Elite comes around, finds him on the other side. Wall goes down. Elite might need to take a little bit of a second here. It's a 3v3 equalizer, and DPY is going to get the plant on the floor, which means it's a retake situation once again. Marked and decayed, multiple bodies were around the site. However, that decay has now faded. Is really close here. Finds the Omen. Oh dear me, he could actually make a play for this. He has the wherewithal. Never mind. Beautiful shot here from the Yoru. Takes one. Position now given away as the suppressed pistol is trying to find him. Shots are fired. Never mind. They managed to double team it as Devashish, and Power come around, take the kills. And it's now Deadeye Esports once again back in the lead. 3-2.
Pistol was important, and well, it is crucial as well that they get this one. Again, they're going to be leading the board for the nth time in this series. No, to be exact, third time. But yeah, Deadeye Esports, can they close it off this time? I mean, last time the pistol was won by Robot Aim. Deadeye stole that anti-eco. Can Robot Aim this time steal one from the grasp of Deadeye Esports? Let's see how things go as the Guardians are going to be coming in. No Outlaws. Actually, there is one on Power. But the shields are full on the side of Robot Aim thanks to the plant coming in. And now the play is going to be towards B as a side. But the wall is good. The shear, it will let Yoru come in. Mag the King, he's already in position. Will the relay board come in? Not yet. The siege is good. But once again, no real follow-up.
Alright, shots fired once again as we have a little bit of a slowdown in the gameplay here. Deadeye Esports are on the defense, and Naman coming around to support the Yoru could potentially find something big here. Shots fired as LaFlame taking a bit of damage. They are all by this archway. Flash goes out, and McDacking gets one, get two actually. DPY shuts him down, and that's the entry that's going to come in. They might even go for the plant right now. Robot Aim needs something to go their way. Hellboy is in here, and he's going to go for it. Power coming around the back might actually be read into right now as the shots will be fired. Power still going to get it. Outlaw gets one. Meanwhile, Elite comes around, finds Hellboy and Deadeye. Well, they are indeed dead on the money. 4-2 in the lead. They are series point.
Match point.
4-2 and match point and series point as well for the side of Deadeye Esports. They're on the verge of getting that spot in the grand finals to face off against the side of Last Hope yet again in a revenge match, but this time in a best of 5 series. But let's see if there is a twist in the tail. Robot Aim, they need 2 rounds to to push us to that sudden death. Do you think there's a chance here? I mean, there's still full buy here coming in. Elite's still sticking to that Guardian. Do you think there's a chance that maybe Robot Aim gets this round at least?
that's a tough call to make, I'll tell you what. Because if they do get this, it's going to be one round closer to finishing, going to overtime. Thorns will throw once again, Shear's trigger, and attacking has to take the second to just hold still, get that little bit off, and Masters gets actually a good kill on the Yoru right now. Shots are fired once again. Attacking has the danger of going down if he's not going to be careful about this right now. Both of them are marked, and Gamer finds one, DPY finds another. It's now down to the 3v4, and Deadeye Esports, they've lost more bodies than they would be comfortable with. Flash is coming in, Power is low on health, and never mind, Devshish comes in with Power being on the support, and Devshish with the triple finding DPY for that final kill. As unfortunately, whatever predictions we might have been able to make in that short time, they have fallen completely by the wayside. It is 5-2 for Deadeye Esports. After the 5-1 in the first map of Bind, they will be the ones taking it 2-0 and moving forwards to the grand finals of Lenovo and Intel presents India's top gamer fishing Mythpat Valorant Swiftplay.
5-1 and then a 5-2. I mean, we were talking about the revenge match for Robot Aim. Looks like Deadeye, they were like, we could do you one better. And they did do one better, 2-1 to 2-0 this time around. Deadeye Esports, they get themselves a slot in that grand finals. And Robot Aim, well, unfortunate, they will have to settle for that place of the second runners-up. They will still get a piece of the cake, but they will be, known as still not the winners. They will not have that bragging rights. Yes, top 3 is still a pretty damn good finish, in a tournament with 128 teams, right? You're still top 3. That is still commendable notion, but at the end, you didn't win. Sometimes that's all that matters. People don't usually remember who lost. So maybe next time we'll see a bit more of the side of Robot Aim, and maybe they will come out stronger and better. Maybe in second position, maybe even first, or maybe even third. If they even get third, consistency is key. And moving on, it is going to be the side of Deadeye Esports now, getting that slot in the grand finals, getting that revenge match. And as I've said, it is a best of 5 this time. So there's only going to be 2 maps banned. And a best of 5 in Swiftplay is just as, interesting as it would be in a normal matchup, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely, it would be. As right now we can have a look at the head-to-head between the two teams, the stats overall, and this time around Masters coming in as the MVP, 8-5 playing the Clove, but Elite wasn't too far behind, 7-4 for that player, and you gotta really give it up to Elite. He's really been pulling his weight. On the other side, LaFlame coming in for this second game with the Yoru 6-7. Unfortunately, not enough even with Hellboys 5-5 and Game of Leagues 5-6. There just wasn't enough between Robot Aim, enough maybe it might have been the power, the overall strength level of the team. Maybe, unfortunately, the Scouters did not register a power level of over 9,000. But whether or not that is the case, Robot Aim will have to bow out of the tournament in third place here, folks, as they are, unfortunately, out of the running. Third place, of course, isn't bad. You get 40k for the whole team, which, if you do the quick maths, isn't a bad turnaround, all things considered, but it could have been better. It could have been second place, could have been first, could have been the whole 1 lakh. Unfortunately, we will never know. For now, of course, excuse me, of course, I believe that is also the matches we had in the scheduling for today. Both BO3s have been taken care of, and Deadeye Esports are going to have a little bit of a revenge tour when we come back tomorrow for... I do not know what is up with my throat today. The number of voice cracks I have had, my goodness. But with all that said, as I was saying, Deadeye Esports, they will have that lower bracket revenge tour tomorrow for the best of 5 grand finals. But before we sign off, Edge, any closing thoughts of the matches we've had today?
I mean, we've witnessed 2 good matches, if you ask me, 2 really good matches. But you got to say, out of this, I believe Deadeye Esports are going to be the one coming out strong tomorrow, because they played 2. And the first one, yes, they did lose that one, but they kind of understand what to expect from the side of Last Hope this time when they face off against, them in a best of 5 series tomorrow. So they already are prepared as to what to expect. Now, they beat Robot Aim once in a 2-1. They beat them again in a 2-0 fashion. They already did them one better. Maybe it's time for them to do one better, against the side of Last Hope tomorrow in a best of 5 series. But that's going to be it. From us, ladies and gentlemen. It was the semi-finals day, if you may, the penultimate day, the upper bracket finals and the lower bracket finals. We have witnessed both of them, and tomorrow don't forget to tune in. You know what time, you know where to find us as well, 6 p.m. And well, it is going to be Deadeye Esports taking on Last Hope. Will it be them securing their unbeatable, undefeated streak, or is it going to be a revenge tour, as Blackjack said, for the side of Deadeye Esports? We'll find out tomorrow. This is me, Ed, signing off along with Blackjack. Until next time, good night, take care, and stay safe.
Reach your impossible with the AI-powered Legion Pro 7i, Lenovo Legion.